Tuesday, September 10th, 2001, I was on the budget committee, and I had a meeting in the speaker's office. I remember, you know, it's like the day Kennedy was at, and the issue was we cannot have $155 billion surplus because that would be cutting into Social Security. It's got to be $160 billion. That was Tuesday, September 10th, 2001. Now, George Bush had been president for a year and a half. There was weakness in the economy then, you may recall. The market was starting to drop. And we were concerned, as were the Democrats, that we were facing a recession. Nobody could have predicted what happened the next morning. That isn't to say that that's the reason why we're ever, the total reason why we're here today. The Republicans and the Democrats spent much more money than they should have in the mid-2000s. And I won't go into the details there because I was there and I could discuss it. But to characterize the Clinton administration as being the sole author of all the surpluses and the Bush administration, which, by the way, the Bush tax cuts, 70% of the Bush tax cuts went to people making less than $75,000 a year. Now you say, how can that be? Elimination of the lowest tax bracket completely. The family tax credit and the marriage penalty deduction. Two of those were means tested, so they didn't benefit the rich. And another little thing to remember when you talk about taxes, 50% of American taxpayers pay 2.7% of the total tax liability in this country. 70% of the tax liability is paid by 10% of taxpayers, and 86% is paid by 25% of taxpayers. We have a very, very progressive tax system in America.
What we have is the reason why they pay that much is because that's what most of the wealth is. What's happened in the 90s and 2000s, it's like what this gentleman has said here, the middle class has been decimated while all the wealth has gone up to the upper classes because they have money in stocks. The stocks are doing well, the corporations are doing well, the people that work for the corporations, they saw their jobs going into China. So there's been
Let's get back. Do you want to take a poll on the debt limit? All those in favor of increasing the debt limit without strings attached, raise your hand. All those in favor of raising the debt limit with significant a significant regime to control the growth of government.
Could you repeat that, please?
Well, it's hard. Who asked the question? Why don't you pose the question? Did you ask me the question?
Oh, yes.
Here,
What I wrote down was
you drove all the way from Atkinson. You ought to be able to speak twice.
we shouldn't vote on the debt unless there are agreements which include strict spending control going forward that are included with the increase in the debt. No debt limit without spending.
How many people believe support that? All right. Lastly, and I'm not counting, how many people support not raising it under any circumstances at all, ever? Now, I wanted to say one other thing before I forget. On the 4th of May, where's Matt Haggerty? When is my college now? Is it Tuesday or Wednesday night? 4th or 5th of May? Okay, so I'm having it on the 4th. Just be advised, I'm having every other week or at least once a month, I'm having a telephone town meeting. And these are not your boring, nasty stuff that you get. I'm calling on anybody who calls, no screening of the calls, and I'm doing polls every 15 minutes for 1 hour on issues. And then I'm telling what they are. So I hope all of you will call in and express your views. I hope you get a call so you can do it. All right, go ahead.
The young lady right
Oh, I was just hoping to do what you did exactly, and that is not reflect back on and lay responsibility for things that have happened so that we can attend to whether or not we need to do something now. That's a very long debate, and it confuses the issue, and I don't think that our intention is to go there right